Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Jets. That's a fib. And I'm here to discuss that game. Week 11 against the Buffalo Bills. Jets lose 32-6. They fall to 4-6 on the year. And those 4 wins are just so fraudulent. So fraudulent. You have... That's a whole different discussion. We're not even going to go down that route. What happened today? Well, it was over on the very first play. Not even. I'll give the Jets credit, right? Because every week, it's almost fun in a way. You know, it's almost entertaining. Every week, watching the New York Jets is just it's watching them come up with new ways to disappoint you, new ways to be inept offensively, new ways to lose. And it is impressive. And this time, they don't wait till the fourth quarter to blow it. No. They don't wait till the second half to start messing it up. No. They don't even wait till the second quarter, nor the first quarter, nor the first drive, nor the first play from scrimmage. No! The very first touch of the game, the Jets lost the game. The first touch of the game, Xavier Gibson gets the kickoff, takes it out to about the 20, and fumbles. Bills recover, short field. Of course they're going to get something out of it, but hey, the defense clamps, hold them to 3. Does it matter? Did it ever matter? The answer to that is no. The game was over off of that. The Jets came into the game following 2 just devastating losses. And they couldn't make a mistake like that off the gun and expect to come back from it. And that's a mixture of how awful the offense is and how mentally impossible it is to play with an offense like this. They finally scored a touchdown again. They hadn't done that since the Giants game. However, there still has not been a touchdown pass where the ball has flown more than 5 yards past the line of scrimmage since God knows when. Right, the past 2 touchdowns have both been checkdowns to Breece Hall that he made magic out of. So that's fun. It's just... the offense can't do anything. And while I don't take any joy from it, or at least not much, we found out today of something that I have been saying this entire time while the offense has stunk. Problem's not Zach. It just simply isn't. They put in Tim Boyle, and I know it was a very, very short sample size, but he didn't look any bit better. And if anything, I would say that he looked worse because he was going up against a Bills team that was kind of just an autopilot. They realized it was garbage time. They were not playing, with the intensity of the first quarter. That's such a pathetic sentence to say about a football team. Anyway. And, he still looked bad. Probably should have thrown 2 picks. Ends up with only 1. The problem isn't Zach. Let me rephrase that. The problem isn't only Zach. He is definitely a large part of that puzzle piece, but it's not him and him alone. The offense is terrible. It's worse than Adam Gase. It's significantly worse than Adam Gase and Sam Darnold. Because here's the thing, and I can't believe I'm about to go to bat for Sam Darnold and Adam Gase. What timeline am I in? What timeline is this? Anyway, at least with them, they had Frank Gore as a running back. It was the Frank Gore... Robbie Anderson had left at that... Was Robbie still there? I feel like Robbie was still there. I'm pretty... Was he, though? I don't even remember at this point. But it was, Brashad Perriman, Frank Gore. I can't even remember the other receivers on that team. Jamison Crowder. It wasn't... They had nothing to work with. And so, yeah, it was awful. And Gase deserved to be fired. I thought he should have been fired midway through that season. And they had to move on from Darnold. Those things are true. But at least they had the defense of yeah, I couldn't coordinate anything. But I had nothing to work with. Breece Hall is a good weapon. Dalvin Cook is over the hill, but conceivably could be a good weapon. Garrett Wilson is a good weapon. Alan Lazard is a nightmare, so that kind of doesn't work. Conklin is a solid player. Ruckert might be, I don't know. He's on the field 2 plays a game. Even in today's game where they finally up his usage, and it's just unnoticeable. By the way, the whole thing during the week of cutting Michael Carter for Izzy Abanikanda, and like, good for him. I'm happy for Izzy. That's cool. But there was that moment where I knew, and this is going to sound dumb and like the drunk uncle that you watch games with that you kind of wish wouldn't come over and watch the games with you. I'm aware that that's what I'm about to sound like. I don't really care. I am not a NFL coach. That should be abundantly clear that I am not that. I am an idiot who sits on the floor and ruins his weekend willingly by watching a football team. But when they cut Carter for Izzy, everyone knew, myself included, oh, so instead of Michael Carter in the fourth quarter on the final drive of the game catching a check down when it's 3rd and 20, it's going to be Izzy. And guess what? That was the only difference personnel-wise with him. And you might say, well, Weston, he's a 3rd running back on the depth chart. What do you want him to do? Anything. Be creative a little bit. Dalvin Cook has done nothing. He might be a good weapon, but you have given him nothing to work with and have not schemed him to be a weapon. Anything. Show me the slightest sign of creativity offensively. You know what he's doing every single time. Hackett seems like a cool dude. But, holy God, someone needs to be fired this week. I don't know who it is. But someone, whether it is Saleh or whether it is Hackett, needs to be fired this week. And I know how extreme that sounds. And listen, to the people that are going, oh my God, Weston, what are you saying? Don't worry. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this week. It's not going to happen any week. It's not going to happen this season or in the off season. Everyone gets to stay because there is a 40-year-old man who is just off in some weird little dungeon in New York going absolutely crazy with ayahuasca, who is going to somehow magically return from a torn Achilles and be healthy in time to play games, but won't because the team is so pathetic around him that they will not be in contention when that eventually happens. By the way, there has never been anything more quintessential New York Jets football than a quarterback coming in to save the team, tearing his Achilles 4 plays in, and then by a miracle, in something that defies all logic, all known medicine, all known laws of sports, coming back that same season and it literally not mattering or resulting in anything fun. Nothing more quintessential Jets than that. Someone's got to go, but no one will because he's there and he's going to be there next year and you have to cater to him. And I don't know if it's the right decision or not. I genuinely don't know. But the offense is just nothing. Going into the offseason, because we're time for that discussion, guys. You ready? It's time for that. It's time for that chat. You're going to need receiver, at least one. If you can get out of the Lazard deal, that's... You might have to try to think of a way out of it. You're going to need basically an entire new offensive line. New running back to, I think you keep Conklin and Ruckert, but you need 2 receivers in the offseason minimum and a bunch of new offensive linemen. And, that's all the offense. The defense wasn't good today. I don't care. To be honest, I'm amazed they've held this long. This is the 10th game the Jets have played this season. And they held it together all to this point in all of last season. And all the defensive outbursts on the field that we saw, people are talking about, oh, they're just getting so, they're acting like babies. Guys, I need you to do me a solid favor. To anyone who's calling Sauce or any of the players who on the field were committing dumb penalties, babies, and letting emotions get the better of them. Here is the incredibly important part of the whole equation, and the thing that I can't stress enough to you guys. This isn't an elite team that's playing incredibly entitled football that after one rough week starts to pout and whine and cry. That is not what happened. This has been 2 years of the New York Jets fielding possibly the best defense in the sport for 2 full seasons and having a abysmal record to show for it, where they are now, they're 4-6 this year. They were 7-10 last year. Coming into this game over the last 26, I want to say it would have been 22-4 if the offense could score league average. This is an amalgamation of 2 years of ineptitude from the offense finally boiling over. I don't want to hear a thing about Sauce. I don't want to hear about a thing about Clemens or any of them. It's unfortunate that Quincy had to lay into Sauce Gardner. Don't know how that's going to work out. But it's bad. I'm doing this before the quotes come out in the post-game presser. That might be a mistake. I might be back tonight or tomorrow with more stuff because God knows what's going to happen in that. The locker room looks like it is fractured. You bench Zach Wilson, which looks like it is the wrong decision because Tim Boyle literally looked worse than him when he was facing a defense that was laying off the gas at that point. So now you either have to double down and go with Boyle or Simeon going into the Dolphins game, or go crawling back to Zach. And not just as a coach, not just as Hackett or Saleh, but as an entire team, because how many guys on the sideline have just eaten Zach alive this season and are now going to have to go back and say, well, you know what? You're not good, but you're the best we got. Or I guess I should say the least terrible that we have. Who's to say what the difference is? And this is all in a short week as you prepare to take on Miami on Black Friday. And guys, I'm not trying to be hyperbole. This is going to be a top 3 quarterback in Tua. By the way, I know I'm a Jets fan and this is sacrilegious. I don't really care. Love Tua Tagovailoa. Right? Awesome player. From everything you can read and see that he does, seems like a really solid person. Right? I love Tua. Big Tua guy. He'd be the best quarterback we've ever had in our franchise's history. But that's beside the point, right? Top 3 quarterback in the league this season, Tua Tagovailoa, who's going to face Zach Wilson, who is probably 32nd, if not lower. And it's going to be Mike McDaniels versus Robert Saleh. And to this point, it's got to be debatably the number 1 coach versus, not counting the first-year guys, probably 1 versus 32, or however many first-year guys, subtract them, it's top and bottom. Like, McDaniels is going to coach him under a desk on Friday afternoon. Have I addressed the Mark Sanchez jersey? I'm wearing this because that's the last time this team made the playoffs. It was 2010 when, come on, twist it around. Come on. When the old Sanchez. Look at that. Look at that. When he was slinging the rock behind the line. It's been 13 years. And it looks like that streak is going to continue. And guys, we threw a lot of flame at the Bills over the years for their drought. And I know I've said it a bunch, but objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. That drought is creeping up on you. You're tied now for the longest playoff drought among the 4 major North American sports. And the other one is the Buffalo Sabres. And they look competent now. They could very easily break that this year. As you sit at 4-6, dead in the water, you're either going to have to ride it out with Boyle or Simeon or go crawling back to Wilson on a short week. Ugh. 1 year. 1 year they're going to win. 1 year they're going to just... 1 year. They're just going to not be this team. They're going to be a good Jets team. That's going to be so fun. I hope it comes one day. I hope it comes one day soon. So you play Friday, Black Friday. 3 p.m. Eastern in MetLife against the Miami Dolphins. I'll probably be here extremely late that night to talk about it. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Jets!